Hey guys, let's talk about tax and bookkeeping. Can you outsource it? This is a fun one because, again, I do a hybrid of this. And so I'm going to talk about what you should be doing with your taxes and your bookkeeping. And then I'm going to show you how I do the hybrid part. Um, so if you wanted to read the whole article, you'll find it here, awesomeoutsourcing.com, tax and bookkeeping outsourcing, how it solves your business problems. I'll put that in the link below. But some of the things that you need to watch out for is, overstating your tax deductibles, right? If you're writing off stuff that isn't for the business, good way to get in trouble. But I think we all know that, right? Our deductions have to be valid. But a lot of times we are guilty of this one, right? Which is failure to track our tax deductibles. So maybe we're not keeping our receipts, or we're not, you know, we have the receipts, but it's just a hot mess, right? Super simple way to keep a digital copy is Shoeboxed or Evernote, right? You can just scan it right in there and then you're done. If you ever get audited, you'll have access to everything there. Um, I also have a folder on my email. So anytime I get a receipt, it just goes right into the receipt folder in our email. Um, this is kind of where the hybrid comes in, right? So tax preparation software. Um, I used to do this when we were really small and didn't have very much going on. I would just use TaxSlayer. But as we've gotten bigger and have been able to deduct more things, I actually did hire a CPA last year to do our taxes. And it was a little more expensive. It was, okay, it was a lot more expensive. So TaxSlayer cost me like $50 and the CPA cost me $750. But at the same time, we also found, ways that reduced our taxes significantly than if I had just used the TaxSlayer software or, whatever into it. I don't care which one you pick. They're kind of all the same. So at a certain point, you have to do the math and figure out like, hey, if I spend $700 on the CPA, is it going to save me $2,000 or $3,000 in deductions? And if that's the case, then you're going to want to hire that to a CPA. Please don't have somebody outside of the United States doing your taxes. I hear people say that, they want to find a virtual assistant in the Philippines to do their taxes, and that's just a really bad idea. They are taught different accounting standards than we are. There are different rules. It's just much better to hire a CPA for that and cover your butt. Now, bookkeeping, on the other hand, is a completely different story, and we will be talking about that in just a minute. But this one I tend to be guilty of, mixing personal and business funds. And I've gotten way, way better at that. And so the idea here is use your business debit card for only business things, right? Don't be picking up that latte with the business card. Don't be paying for business stuff out of PayPal if it's your personal PayPal account. That's one that kind of really gets me because it's kind of our business account. But anytime you're mixing your personal and business funds, this is gonna it ends up being a nightmare for your bookkeeper. And so thank you, Leslie. I appreciate you. So we'll get to that. Leslie's who does our bookkeeping. Handling payroll. Now, this is something that I have, the same gal that does our bookkeeping also does our payroll. And so she logs in once a week and pays our whole team. She gets all of our bonuses correct. She keeps track of the PTO, all that good fun stuff. And so it's one less thing that I have to worry about. So obviously she updates our financial reports monthly, and she does our bank reconciliation. So this is a huge one. If you guys aren't doing this, start. There's a super easy way. Like if you don't want to pay for QuickBooks, QuickBooks is like $50 a month. You can use Wave, which is free. And it's a great way to get everything all in one place. And then back up your data, please, please, please back it up. If it's not online in the cloud, um, you know, back up your computer if you're using, Intuit on your computer, QuickBooks on your computer. If you lose that, you're going to be really, really hurting. And this is probably the biggest one that I see is people doing everything themselves. And quite honestly, your time is worth more than this. Um, you can outsource this to somebody for $6 or $7 an hour. I have a couple of friends who, it's like 4 hours a month that it costs them to do their bookkeeping, and so they pay somebody $30 to $40 a month to do their bookkeeping over in the Philippines, and their bookkeeping is stellar in the Philippines. You can find some really, really amazing talent there. And that's personally where I go. And so yes, they do use gap principles, but again, if we're doing bookkeeping, that doesn't matter, right? They're not doing your taxes, so you don't have to worry about accounting principles as far as gap versus American for tax time. So I would absolutely 1000% outsource your bookkeeping to someone in another country. It doesn't have to be the Philippines. I love the Philippines because they're very good at English. They're very, very hard workers. They're very well educated. The guy that we hired full time to do bookkeeping, not only was he a CPA, but he had his master's, and he was phenomenal. And he cost us about $7 an hour. And so you can get some really, really, really good talent. Now you have to go looking for it, right? You have to do your due diligence, interview, test, and make sure that they know what they're talking about. But when you find a good one, man, holy cow, it will rock your world. Um, or if you're really small and you don't have a lot going on, you can find somebody in the Philippines who once a month will go in and clean up your books, and it'll cost you $40. It's a no brainer for them to take the 4 to 8 hours a month that it's going to cost, that it's going to take, versus you doing that yourself. Your time is way, way more valuable working on your business. And so I actually use online jobs to hire. And if you guys will use the link below, I would greatly appreciate that. It is an affiliate link. It's the same pricing for you, but we get a little bit of a kickback for providing you guys with some awesome resources. So long story short, wrapping up, I would say definitely take a look at the size of your business. If your business is going to be, if you can get more than $750 in a write-off, consider using a CPA in the United States versus just using your tax software. If you're real, real tiny, then it doesn't make sense to spend the $750. Or whatever it is. It could be $1,000, right? But if you're spending $1,000, they should be saving you, 3, 4, 5 grand. And then secondly, don't be doing your bookkeeping yourself, and you don't need somebody in the United States to do your bookkeeping. You can find somebody in another country who is very, very well educated, who speaks English very well, and can take that right off of your plate for you. We do have that service available. So if you guys are interested, get in touch with me. I'll be happy to tell you how we can do that and help you out. As always, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat below, and I will see you guys in the next video.